If that happens, that could be the straw that breaks the camel's back and we start to see things tumble.
Hey everybody, Jason Barlow with South 1% Realtors here with Dave Barlow, head broker, Rich Sircone, Equitable Mortgage, bringing you a market update for December 4th, 2025. Rich, what are you seeing out in the interest roll rate? We got a Fed meeting coming up. The floor is yours.
Right. We have the Fed meeting next week. It is pretty much a 99.9% foregone conclusion. We will see another rate cut next week. So it will be no surprise when that happens next week. As we've always said, what happens next is the surprise or the potential market mover. If the Fed telegraphs, if they continue their quantitative easing stance, we may see a little more rate relief in mortgages. But as it stands right now, we are still in the low six range in a 30-year fixed mortgage. Tomorrow is the first Friday in December. Typically, the first Friday of the month, we get unemployment reports from the government, which is a big market mover right now. But because of the government shutdown, they're behind. We won't see that report until December 16th. We're flying without that report right now. However, we did get the ADP report. The ADP puts out a private payroll report every month right before the jobs report. We got that yesterday, and ADP reported negative 32,000 private payroll jobs created. We are losing jobs according to ADP. Further reason why the Fed may want to cut interest rates. The Fed is concerned about stable employment and inflation that's under control. It's dual mandates. Right now, we aren't seeing payrolls stabilize. There's concern about layoffs, and inflation seems to be under control. At least it's not sky is falling like everybody said earlier this year. So let's be hopeful 2026 continues that rate cut pattern and we can get 30-year fixed rates into the fives. Right now, we're just not quite there, except on a few select scenarios. I closed a loan yesterday, 5.99, but that was a lower loan amount, great credit. Everything was right. A government Fannie Mae Freddie Mac program for first-time home buyers, and that was able to get that person into the fives. But typically, we're still in the low sixes on most loans.
I don't know what the future will be when Jerome Powell talks to us. I would imagine they're not going to telegraph that the sky is falling, although they keep playing the political game. Maybe they will talk about job market breaking. It's this weird game they play where I expect them to say, oh, we're data dependent and things aren't that bad. But then the market then will react in a negative way. And then we'll have more rate cuts in 2026. What do you think is going to happen next year? I think that you're going to see the housing market recover. What do you think is going to happen, Rich?
I think it's going to be more of the same next year, although I think we're going to see a trickling down of rates, but I don't think there's any big market moving situation we're going to see next year. However, if Trump replaces Powell with his own Fed, with a new Fed governor, he's definitely going to replace him with somebody who is going to be dovish towards interest rates. If that happens, that could be the straw that breaks the camel's back and we start to see things tumble. If we replace the Fed governor next year, get away from the political wrangling between Trump and Powell and get somebody that's on the same page and they both want low interest rates, then that's probably what we will see.
They meet next week. As you said a month ago, just after the last meeting, it was highly speculative. A month ago, speculation was they were not going to do another rate cut. And now they are. We'll see. I think there's a number of things going on. One of the things I just saw yesterday, Michael Dell donated $5.6 billion to start Trump accounts for any kids born in 2025 through 2027 or 2028 or something like that. They're going to give them $1,000 to start an account the day they're born and let it compound over time. I go by the old gas idea. This morning at BJ's on 23 in Powell, Lewis Center. Gas is $2.12 a gallon. We went on a trip for Thanksgiving last week, and we saw it down to $2.29 in many places. And I think those, again, are the things that help people's pocketbook.
I'm looking at these gas prices because I haven't seen that anywhere. So I need to go find different gas, apparently.
Normally they're in Hilliard at Thornton's. They're at
Excuse me.
Robertson 270 is about the cheapest anywhere in the city.
Yeah, there's always a UDF there too from years ago, but I haven't. Depends on which way I'm heading, which direction I go. If I go down Roberts, if I go down Cemetery to get to 270.
We'll splash a screen here of gasbuddy.com is who they were reporting from this morning.
The other thing too you're talking about is like this interest rate thing. I was trying to tell you a month ago, it's all baked in. Everybody wants to tell Jason how little he knows. You know, there's a joke in the group chat that I was accidentally right. And so on the market, I am on my listings right now. If you're asking $10 million, yeah, no one's going to come. We say that all the time to sellers. I'm on a streak not matched since the beginning of 2025, maybe 13 or 14 days now in a row, except for Thanksgiving that I've sold a listing. I went 2 or 3 weeks without selling anything. And what I'm telling sellers is September and October, usually they're pretty solid. Those months for me sucked.
Yeah.
Things just were not really moving. And then Dad is always watching our showing counts. And then one weekend he sent us an email and there was a huge uptick in showings. And that was the last weekend I was cold on. Ever since, it's like one a day, something selling. So what I'm telling my sellers, I'm going on listing appointments this week. September, October kind of sucked. But November, the market's kind of surging. If you look at national numbers, it's the same story. That pending sales are about 15% across the country right now. And here beginning in December, it's been surging. And yeah, there may not be as many buyers that are looking in December compared to springtime. There's fewer buyers that are looking, but the ones who are looking are very serious. I don't think it's a mistake to list right now. Normally I would tell people to wait, get through Christmas and list, but listing now is really not the worst play. If you need to move, list it. Don't wait. I have a couple people that we're going to wait until March and April, and hey, that may work out. But if the economy falters, rates go up, a lot of wild cards that can happen. God forbid a black swan event somewhere in the world. Right now, things are not bad for sellers. On the numbers, Dad, in the metro area, the median days on market is at 56, up from around 49. The average days is close to 90. That's the Columbus Metro. When I go into zip codes, it holds true. Some areas like Hilliard that you would think, oh, things sell in 2 weeks. No, not so fast. They're right around that same 56, 60-day median, which is crazy because it used to be 56, 60 hours and these houses would sell.
Used to be 56 offers.
Yeah. Now I know that you and I talk all the time. There's a lot of realtors that, hey, they've only been doing this since 2018, 2017. They've never seen a market where things don't sell right away. We're going back into our bag of tricks and pulling out a bunch of different strategies that are yielding results. If you're trying to get the most money, you really need to make sure you get somebody that has a little bit of skill and tact involved. 5,200 active listings on the market. We've been around 57, 5,800. We're down to 5,247. The in contracts are right around 26, 2,700, which is about what you would expect to see in December. It's not like all of a sudden there's 4,000 homes in contract and that's where all the inventory went. We are seeing a record number of cancellations. People are taking their house off the market. They're not happy with the results they're getting. The expectations probably weren't set properly, and they're taking their house off the market. And to those people, I say thank you because you're helping my listing sell. Now that we have a little fewer options, but also if you're going to relist next spring, that's when everybody else is going to be listing. You're better to surf the house right now and look for serious buyers and use advanced strategies.
I agree 100%. Fewer buyers, but the ones looking are serious. It normally takes us 8 showings to generate an offer. We are down in the 4 to 5 showing range. It's not a bad time to be on the market. Probably as you go closer to the weekend before Christmas to the weekend after Christmas, I expect those 2 weekends to be slow. But then I think once we get past New Year's, the market's going to pop and off we go again.
Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe, ring the bell, get notifications, and have a great week. Go Bucks.